back. We are back. Shout out to the elders. Welcome everyone. We got a special guest today. We got the Blood That Heals.
For sure, it's a pleasure.
What else do you go by?
My name Tone. Well, I'm known as Tone. You know, a lot of people know me as Tone, but you know, other than that, they have the Blood That Heals. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm known as Tone.
So, what inspired you to name yourself the Blood That Heals?
That's a great question. I love that question. So the reason, well, before my Instagram or whatever the case may be was changed to the Blood That Heals, it was actually cooking with the blood. So you know, I was making a lot of vegan food, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. But when I was cooking, when I was just so prominent on cooking, I was making a lot of, you know, processed vegan food. And so after a while, you know, through different transitions, as you become more aware, you know, you want to start cooking more natural foods or things from scratch. And so I started switching that up. You know, I started making my burgers from scratch. I started making the oyster mushrooms and all of these things. And then what happened was that I met a lady, and she had diabetes. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she just asked me about a diet and things in that nature. And I'm in the midst of that, I'm still juicing as well. So I'm giving her recipes, you know, as far as juicing, meals and things in that nature. And then I just started looking up herbs, you know what I mean? And then, you know, well, I'm not gonna say I healed her, but I will say that, you know, I allowed the body to cleanse, to allow the body to heal itself. Because, you know, a lot of people say, well, it's the herbs that heal me, when in actuality, the herbs do nothing but create different pathways within the body so the body can heal itself. So that's pretty much what I did. And when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, I could probably do something with that. So what I did was I just pretty much, I shut down my Instagram. Well, I ain't gonna shut it down, but I just stepped away from all social media. And I just started buying all kind of books, educational books about the body, how the body breaks down, the biochemistry of the body, just all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm just in my books.
So you went down like the rabbit hole.
Yeah, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Just learning about atoms. Because, you know, we made up of trillions of atoms, so we ain't nothing but atoms studying atoms, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I did, and I decided to just transition into, you know, the Blood That Heals. And the reason why I did that is because being a part of a specific organization in our community. However, the reason why I keep the blood in there is so people can understand, first off, that where these organizations in our community derive from. You know, of course, you know, I've been misled, but, you know, doing my research and again, becoming aware, I realized that these organizations in our community, they first started and originated with the Black Panther and, the Black nationalists to lead our community, you know what I'm saying, to protect our community, heal our community, teach our community. So in a way, I wouldn't say that I'm turning on the light, but I would say that I'm repairing the light that was once tore down. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I am a part of a specific organization in our community. However, I'm not utilizing my warrior mentality to be self-destructive and to destroy my community.
Right.
I'm using that warrior mentality to lead my community, to assist my community, to help and to teach my community to become better and propel themselves. So, you know, that's why I kept, you know, the Blood That Heals, cooking with the blood. Yeah.
Well said. That's very
sure.
well said. Yeah, and I like that you do cook, because a lot of people say that you save a lot of more money when you cook.
Oh, 100%.
It's way healthier, you know, and it's way more fun. And you put your own creativity. Yeah. You know what oils you're using. You know what spices you're using. Because when you go to even a vegan restaurant, you don't know what they're really putting inside, like the spices
and the
behind
ingredients.
the door. Right. Yeah. You don't know if it's unorganic. You don't know if it's GMO. Yeah. And that stuff catches up. That stuff catches back up with you. What would you say about, like, you know, someone who eats fast food? How long until it catches back up with them in their life?
Well, honestly, it's not even about catching up. It's prominent right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you think about, okay, so boom, first off, let me touch on the fact that cooking, you know, the benefits of cooking for self, right? You got to even, of course, the ingredients and things in that nature. However, once you understand that the energy transfer, right? See, it's the reason why for those that, you know, eat a specific way, why they're not fulfilled, right? Because it's quick, it's easy, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing to fry chicken. Boom, you just put it in the flour and you know what I mean? However, when you're taking something, a meal, or you're taking lentils, right? And you have to wash it, you gotta soak it, you put it in a blender and you put your seasonings, you know what I'm saying? It takes more energy to put inside that food, especially when your energy is in a great space. And so what happens is that when you eat this food, you become much more fulfilled. Versus when you eat something else, you know, within 30, 45 minutes, you're back hungry, you back snacking.
I heard about that
too.
Yeah, I heard about, like, you know, it's all about the intention, about the magic that you put inside your own food. When you eat someone else's food, you don't know what kind of mood they have.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's really important to understand what you eat.
Yeah, for sure.
So
my bad, go ahead.
How long have you been cooking?
So I've been cooking for a while, even before I was vegan. So I've been vegan for 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, I've been vegan for 8 years. But even before then, man, I was in there cooking, you know, frying the pork chops with the mashed potatoes, the collard greens and neck bones. I was doing all that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've been cooking for a minute. But to answer your question with the fast food though, when it comes to fast food, you know, you got to understand that first and foremost, you know, they play on our psyche when it comes to the fast food, right? It's a reason why every fast food restaurant, every popular fast food restaurant is the color red or the color yellow or the color orange, right? What colors are our 3 lower chakras, right?
Red,
yellow,
orange,
red, and orange.
And yellow.
You feel what I'm saying? So when we pass these different fast foods and all of a sudden we just want to eat. We're not hungry, but we want to eat. Right? So we go pull over and we eat this food. Now, our body reacts to this food and it wants to eliminate it as quick as possible. So as soon as we get done eating, the average person, the next thing we want to do is what? We want to have sex, right? And so that's also playing in our lower chakras. So as soon as we, you know, we indulge into sexual activities and then we release, the next thing is we go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? We wake up, then we eat, and we do it all over again.
So it's kind of like an animal mentality.
Of course,
you know,
100%.
You just live to eat, live to sleep,
100%.
Do this. It's very low vibration.
Yeah,
very
for
low
sure.
Vibration. Yeah. So what's some of the herbs that are some of the most powerful herbs that are recommended out that you would put out to people?
Yeah. So my thing is that the first thing that I work on is 100% the lymphatic system, the glymphatic system, and the kidneys. However, when you're dealing with any dis-ease in the body out of ease, right? It deals a lot with parasites. Right, so the first thing that I would like to get somebody on is a parasite cleanse. Of course, the lymphatic system, right? Anything that goes through the lymphatic system has to filter out through the kidneys. That's first and foremost. But the next thing we got to take care of is 100% the parasites, because again, any dis-ease in the body is dealing with a parasite. It's dealing with a parasitic infestation where this parasite feeds on the hemoglobin, the oxygen of the blood cells. So a cat's claw, black walnut, cloves, a chaparral, white willow bark, red willow bark, a lot of the barbs family, 100%. But yeah, that'll definitely be my go-to.
Okay. And when it comes to these oils, what oils should we use as well?
As far as cooking?
Yes, because I know a lot of people talk about vegetable oils, unhealthy. I know I don't use that.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm not an advocate for vegetable oil is because vegetables don't create oil. You know what I'm saying? When you eat a vegetable, you're eating nothing but water. Right. You can juice a vegetable and get nothing but water.
So why did they call it vegetable oil?
It's just a psyche. It's just for you to play on your mental.
Plays on your mental.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, because if you think about society, how many individuals in this society, in this matrix, for lack of better words, actually think for self, right? Majority of individuals, they just receive the information and they adapt to it and be like, oh yeah, this is it. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, okay, I see the information, I'm observing the information, I'm gonna receive it, but I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna pray for discernment, or I'm gonna do the research myself. You know what I'm saying? Majority of society today, majority of individuals today, you know, they believe everything they see or everything that they give. That's why the news channels is very popular, it's very successful. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever the news say is law. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you very well said, very well spoken. When it comes to a lot of people have acne nowadays, how do people get acne out their body?
Yeah. So when it comes to acne, especially if it's chronic acne, 9 times out of 10, again, it's parasites. Right? So it's just pretty much the parasite, the parasitic. The parasite expressing itself. However, acne can also be the lack of processed the lack of processing within the lymphatic system. You know what I'm saying? If the lymphatic system is backed up, right? What happens is that when the lymphatic system is backed up, right, you got these things called lymph nodes, and inside of these lymph nodes is like hundreds of bacteria, and this good bacteria is what kills the bad bacteria and et cetera. But however, you got to understand that our cells, we made up of trillions of cells, so our cells also poop just like our entire body. So what happens is that when these cells poop and they get backed up and the lymphatic system is backed up, they have no way to eliminate. They're gonna eliminate the best way possible, and the next route is through the skin. So you know, so basically, for lack of better words, when you have acne, it's just pretty much your skin taking the shit. Yeah.
Wow. So it's just trying to get out of your body.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Cause see, when you pop a pimple, when we pop an acne, I mean, what color is it? The first color is white, and then it's blood. Your lymphatic system is made up. That's lymph fluid. You know what I'm saying? Lymph fluid is made up of you dealing with two fluids when you're dealing with the body. It's the lymph, which is the lymph fluid, and then you're dealing with the blood. That's it.
Wow. Okay. When it comes to headaches, what do you recommend for headaches? That's the thing a lot of people go through.
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to headaches, you know, headaches is nothing but pressure in the sinus cavity. It could be, you know, of course, blood related, you know what I'm saying, as far as the raising of blood pressure. So you want to take things that lower the blood pressure, you know, like berries, juniper berries, hawthorn berries, Sajandra berries, you know, chaparral is very good. What else? Lily of the Valley is very good for headaches, you know, and then also doing breath works, huh?
What about blueberries?
Oh, fruit, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Fruit, period. You know what I'm saying? Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, mangoes is very good, papaya. So yeah, for sure.
What were you gonna say about breath work?
Yeah, so breath work. You know, when calming the nervous system, when calming and releasing the pressure of the blood. You know, you can do breath work. There's different breathing techniques. One of the breathing techniques that I like utilizing is the 4-7-8 method. So you breathe in 4 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, and release it for 8 seconds. And what happens is that it accumulates more carbon dioxide within the body, right? Which actually helps the cells and the tissues of the cells release more CO2 and balance the oxygen. Because a lot of times when people are stressed or whatever the case may be, it's not the lack of oxygen, which is telling them to breathe. It's really the lack of CO2, which is carbon dioxide.
And I read that in the book called Breath.
Yeah, 100%, exactly.
If you would understand, carbon dioxide is good. That's why they say, isn't holding your breath good?
Yeah, for 100%.
Yeah, like how long should we hold our breath a day?
How long you could do it.
Okay.
However long you could do it.
I hold my breath.
Different sessions or.
Yeah, I hold my breath and I will just feel so like relaxed and more like healthy. My mind just gets energy.
Yeah.
You know, how does holding my breath give my mind energy? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But overall, what else were we gonna talk about? Semen retention. That was something that you know, you do semen retention classes.
Yeah, 100%.
When it comes to the psyche, how does semen retention change someone's psyche?
Oh, 100%. So before we even speak about just semen retention, I'm gonna break down the difference between semen retention and ejaculation control, because certain people have it misconstrued. Semen retention is pretty much like being celibate. As for a man, right? You're not indulging into any sexual acts, whether it's self-loving or whether you have a partner, right? I teach both. However, I more so teach ejaculation control. I'm gonna explain why. So ejaculation control is much more powerful, right? Because first off, as a man, our sexual organs is similar to a muscle, right? And you already know what they say about muscles. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, right? So you continually exercising that muscle first and foremost. And then when you jump into ejaculation control, this, you know, I teach about, you know, breath works. It's different breathing techniques that you can do while you're pleasing your partner, whatever the case may be. And it's different positions as well, and also learning how to focus, right? That's that zone, that's that meditative state that, you know, the movie on Disney's called Soul, right? When he playing the piano, he get in that zone. It's just developing the focus, right? So that's that. And then also the benefit of ejaculation control is when you start learning about the different sexual organs of a man, right? There's this thing called the PC muscle, right? It's located what most people will call the gooch, right? It's actually a vein, and it also works as a pump, right? And so when you're practicing,
it's called the pelvic floor, right?
Yeah, the pelvic floor.
Yeah,
the PC muscle. Yeah. So you know, when you are accumulating, you know, your semen, whatever the case may be, that PC muscle can actually act as a pump. So when you breathe in and when you breathe out, right? This is for every and anybody, right? When you breathe in and you breathe out, you have two valves. You have one valve at the lower tailbone, and you have another valve right below the neck bone. And when you breathe in, these valves open up. And when these valves open up, cerebral spinal fluid comes up. This is what they call the Kundalini rising. And so when you breathe in and you hold your breath, when you breathe in, the valves open up. So when you hold your breath, that means the valves stay open. So that cerebral spinal fluid is constantly feeding the brain. And within that cerebral spinal fluid, especially when you're using a pump and you're utilizing ejaculation control, inside a man's semen is minerals, it's vitamins, it's biophotons, it's all kind of great things. Vitamin C, potassium, is all kind of great things that feed the body, right? And so when you use that PC muscle as a pump, you can breathe in and you can hold your breath for a few seconds and you can pump that PC muscle. And what happens is it pumps up extra cerebral spinal fluid inside the brain. And so and the most powerful thing about that cerebral spinal fluid is that it enters the pineal gland, and inside your pineal gland you have different crystals. And that cerebral spinal fluid actually stimulates those crystals, and you can actually have a spiritual
awakening.
Not even just a spiritual experience. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power of ejaculation control, because you can do this process even while you're in the act of sexual activity.
Now, can someone do this process when they're by themselves?
100%.
Okay.
You don't even have to you can literally just, so for an example, right? I tell my men in my class that I would say practice ejaculation control for at least 30 days before, sitting down and doing the meditatives and the different practices, because it takes a while for that semen to build up, right? Because when you in the act of self-loving and you're on the point of no return, right, which is, you're about to ejaculate, but you hold it, what happens is that ejaculate comes up those valves. And what happens is that the body, as soon as you ejaculate, period, or when when it's you at the point of no return, every organ in your body releases chemicals. Every organ in your body then releases minerals to refill pretty much your scrotum, to refill the semen back up. But what happens is that when you don't ejaculate it, of course, it goes back down the valve and it basically increases the quantity. But the most powerful thing about it is that when you do not release your ejaculate, what happens is that, especially when you do the breath works and you do the pumping, what happens is that it releases from the valve, and then it sends out different minerals within the body, as far as the organs, the crown, everywhere. So yeah, man, ejaculation control is powerful. It's very powerful. I can break that shit down. In my class, I break it down.
Yeah. Everyone watching, y'all gotta go on Semen Retention. Very, very powerful. Yeah. I used to talk about it a lot. And it has changed my life. My skin has changed. My confidence has changed. Just my voice has even changed. And I'm glad that you teach those type of things, because people need, the men nowadays, especially city men, they're not men no more. A lot of people don't know how to find their masculinity. They don't know how to find their purpose. Don't know how to find their worth. A lot of men don't even know their worth. So
for sure.
I'm glad you teach those type of things.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but when it comes to men, man, especially today, it's like growing up, we've been programmed to be just over-sexualized. And it's a reason behind that, because us as men, although women, they birth the life, they bear the life, however, we carry the life before it's even planted. And our semen is live. It's live. It's alive.
It is.
It's literally swimming as we speak right now. You feel what I'm saying? So that's real life right there.
It's like life force, literally.
Exactly. It's your life force. Exactly. So as a man that cultivates your life force, and you're not focused on a nut, you're not focused on just trying to bust down a female.
Pleasure, right?
You know what I'm saying? What happens is that you then start to cultivate your creative energy, right? Which is why even now people ask me, how are you running 7 different businesses? Because I'm cultivating my creative energy. That's the divine feminine.
And semen retention is that powerful.
100%. I'm tapping into the divine feminine of creative energy, and I'm able to transmute that energy, and I'm able to redirect it to a more productive task.
You said 7 businesses though?
Yeah, for sure.
7 businesses?
100%. Yeah.
Wow. Do you have a team?
It's just me.
It's just you?
It's just me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't want a team. It's more so having the individuals that's gonna work like you, that's gonna have the focus like you. You know the ancient scripts say, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst.
Right.
But however, if it's two or more and we're focused on two different paths, if we're not putting in the same energy, how can we manifest anything?
I agree.
How can anything become successful?
Yeah, I try to get people, people on my team as well, and if for some reason it just never clicks if it's not the right person, because that person might have a whole different purpose, a whole different soul contract.
Exactly.
They might not even have the same vision I got.
Yeah.
So it's like nowadays it's all about our own vision, and we're gonna align with people
100.
one day.
For sure. You're gonna be divinely guided.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You're gonna be divinely guided.
Hey, that's some information. Also, could you demonstrate to us the 4-7 method?
100%. We could do it now.
Okay.
So first and foremost, when we breathe, I always tell my community to breathe in their nose and out their nose only. Mm-hmm. Now, breathing out of your mouth, of course, it has a lot of benefits. Mm-hmm. However, the only reason why I recommend my community to breathe in their nose and out of their nose is because when you breathe in your nose and you hold it and you breathe out your mouth, it becomes an uncontrollable release. Okay. Right? And we don't want that, right? We want to be able to control the breath, right? Because when you control the breath, you're able to control the flesh. We're spirit beings, right? So that's first thing first. We're breathing in our nose and out our nose. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. Okay. We're going to hold it for 7, and we're going to breathe out for 8.
For 8, okay.
Breathe in. Breathe out. We're gonna do that one more time. We're gonna breathe in our nose for 4 seconds. We're gonna hold it for 7. And we're gonna breathe out for 8.
Okay.
Breathe in. Hold it. We're breathing out our nose. Now, this process has been taught. Doing this for a long period of time actually releases different DMT chemicals within the brain that allow you to activate different realms. It'll allow you to tap into different dimensions and allow you to have a spiritual experience. Because you know
how like your breath is like a guider. It's like a spirit guide.
100%.
A lot of people want to be guided, but your breath is a guide itself.
100%. Being one with breath is very powerful.
Right. A lot of people who are out of their life and they don't know what their life is. They're confused. If you really study them and look at them, they're not really even breathing properly. So
100%.
That's something I noticed.
That's another thing I teach my community as well. When we do different breath works, I always inform them that when you breathe, you want to make sure that you're breathing deep within your abdomen, because a lot of people shallow breathe, right? Yep. And when it comes to shallow breathing, you're only utilizing maybe 10 to 15% of your lungs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't even understand that when you detoxing period, over 70% of your detoxification method is breathing.
Wow.
So
70%.
About 70% of detoxing is breathing. You have to learn how to breathe. Because when you breathe, you actually breathe out. You're bringing in oxygen for the blood cells to replenish themselves, and the bone marrow. Because the bone marrow is what brings in and creates the new blood. It creates new life. But if it doesn't have oxygen, and then it lacks the hemoglobin, then it turns what? It turns purple because it's suffocating. Yeah. So when you breathe deep within your abdomen, you then start to utilize the full capacity of your lungs.
Wow, that is powerful, bro. That is truly, truly powerful. What's your opinion? What do you believe about working out?
Working out?
Yeah. Do you believe people should lift weights, or you believe people should do calisthenics?
Well, I do both. I do both. I lift weights and I do calisthenics. I would recommend, like, if you're fasting, if you're detoxing, or you're trying to heal any disease, I don't advise doing anything but walking. Right, and the reason being is because working out, period, it releases lactic acid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it does.
Yeah, and it's acid. That's why when you lifting weights or you're doing push-ups, what do you feel? You feel a burn. Acid does what? It burns. You know what I'm saying? So the body is releasing acid, and you can't voluntarily. You can't voluntarily be creating acid within a body if you're trying to heal anything, you know. But you know, I'm an advocate. You know, I'm not an extremist. If you want to work out, get the body right, get the body looking like a god that you are, do that. You know. But yeah, that's my take on it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What are some of the best benefits that you've seen people through your classes on semen retention?
Oh man, the benefits is immaculate. So I actually had a few men. They reached out to me, you know, and you know they let me know that they're lasting rounds. You know, that's first thing first on the physical sexual side. They're lasting rounds. I mean, we see everywhere where women talk about how a man can go multiple rounds. Well, a man in my class, a man that studies and implements the things that I teach, I promise you, you will get tired before him. I know this. You will tap out way before him. You know what I'm saying? So that's one benefit. Another benefit is, of course, the partner, man. If you got a partner, you know, it shows in your partner, right? And then also when you're trying to, or when you're into pursuing another woman, right? As a man, once you start developing that God energy, you're going to start not necessarily searching for that God energy, but you're going to want to attract that God energy. You're going to want to resonate and vibrate on that same frequency. So when you're talking to another queen, another goddess, you're not so solely focused on catching a nut or trying to bust her down. So you're going to start asking real questions. What do you think about? You know what I'm saying? What are your desires? Right? What are you manifesting? What do you do on a daily basis? What is your diet like? You know, you're going to start asking these important questions. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Another benefit that, you know, the man reached out. I know one of the men that's in my class, he reached out and let me know that he's now running 3 businesses.
3?
Yeah, he only had 1 and he was struggling with that. Ever since he's been on ejaculation control, and he's actually been utilizing the breathing techniques, the meditative techniques, the yoga techniques, and then also one of the laws of the universe, giving and receiving, right? Giving love and tapping into his God essence. It's like abundance just flows.
Abundance. It's like
abundance
water.
just flows.
It's like water.
Exactly.
Wow, man, that's some very sacred information. Even when you were speaking about the crystals, how like, you know, certain, you know, semen can really activate the crystals up to your pineal gland.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, wait, that is some sacred information, because these are the things that, you know, they're not really conversations like these. You know, this is why my channel alone is a very different channel, because it's not conversations like these. Some may say it's the occult, some may say, you know, it's philosophy, but what really is it? You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. I believe it's
facts.
the truth. You know,
I always say facts don't give a fuck about feelings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can feel how you want to feel about whatever is being said, but if it's facts, they don't care about your feelings. You can either implement it or ignore it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some deep stuff. Even grounding. Like, what's your perspective on grounding our energy? What's your favorite way to ground energy? If either that's herbs. Thing. What would you say?
The first, well, my intake on grounding is that's the first step to doing anything. That's the first step to any spiritual enlightenment, any spiritual journey. Right. See, you know, even in the spiritual community, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, you know, everybody speak about open your third eye. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which, of course, that is important. That's nice. But however, also in the spiritual community, there are a lot of individuals that's only focused on problems and not solutions. And that is because we're not grounded. We're not grounded. When you're grounded, when you work on that root chakra, when you work on that solar plexus and the sacral and all, and the lower chakra, you become grounded. Once you see the problem, you automatically figure out or start utilizing your brain to figure out a solution. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know, open a third eye is not a bad thing. However, you know, you can be too much up there to where you get lost in the sauce. And this is where all these different individuals that, as we can see, you know, in the streets or, you know, in these different institutions that they call crazy. And these individuals may not be crazy. Majority of them probably not. They probably went on a shroom trip and they got lost because they wasn't grounded.
And then on top of that, because the third eye, it could be overactive as
100%.
well, where people are just extremely paranoid, extremely this, that. Every small thing, it's just like, what's the word? It's called too smart for doing good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing in our community. Some people are too smart for doing good. Life is just life sometimes, you know. 100%. Everything doesn't have to be like overanalyzed.
Yeah.
So I like how you do speak on that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's knowing that you need to be grounded is a powerful thing, man, because, you know, although we are spiritual beings, 100%, we are spiritual beings. However, we're also having this human experience.
Right.
And one of the most powerful species it is the human experience. You know what I'm saying? We don't even have to eat.
Right.
How powerful is that?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and so being too spiritual, being too into the ethers, you get lost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get lost, and now the individuals, the entities in this realm, they can do whatever they want with your body. But you have to understand that your nervous system, your central nervous system, is what connects you to the ethers. You know what I mean? So when you lose that, in a sense, you can use a part of your soul, a part of your spirit. This is why also certain tribes, they don't even like taking pictures. The reason being because they feel like taking pictures or videos captures a part of your soul. And in a sense, it makes sense because you know, if you look at certain individuals that have transitioned, they're in a sense they're still here. Because you can listen to their music, you can go back to their Instagram and look at their Instagram. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah.
That's the Wood brother I was just talking to. His name is Mind, the Mind, Body, Soul. He was speaking about that. He was saying like if you leave a legacy here and you so and so pass away or you transition out of here, you're really still here because if people play your videos, that's going to attract your frequency.
100%.
Your frequency's still in the air.
100%.
You have music. So it's really like, you know, a lot of men who's watching this video, it's really your goal to leave a legacy before you transition, because you're still going to always be here.
Intentional with leaving the legacy.
Yeah. I like how you said that. Yeah, let me rephrase that. Be intentional with leaving a legacy.
Yeah, 100%.
For the right reasons, and you're always going to be here. You're never going to really you're going to transition, but you're still going to be on this plane because your words, your vibrations are still present within the material plane of Earth.
Your energy,
That's some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you are the universe.
Right.
And the universe is you. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big sea, you know what I mean? And just being dispersed by different droplets. But you still the sea.
And it's amazing. It's just mesmerizing, like how we really don't really pass away.
Yeah.
Like we're really just a soul and a body. Like, you know, these bodies are just vehicles that we're using. And you know, we're really external, like we're really infinite, you know, we live on forever. So.
Yeah, 100%. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
Right.
They just transferred. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole concept of heaven and hell come from. You know what I'm saying? Whatever legacy you may leave in this realm, whatever energy that people may conjure up based off of what you may have left would determine, you know what I'm saying, certain aspects of your journey. You know what I'm saying? Beyond this realm of your journey of the different things that you may experience. You know what I'm saying? Which then goes back to, like I was saying earlier, one of the laws of giving and receiving, which also falls under the subcategory of the law of karma. Whatever you give, you gonna receive.
Right. What's your take when it comes to women who are not vegan, women who are not plant-based? Do you recommend people in your class to sleep with women who are not plant-based? Would you sleep with a woman who's not plant-based, or would you just stay away from those type of women?
So this is my thing. I always tell my community I'm not an extremist at all, because I understand that we are having this human experience, right? And then I also understand that everybody is on their own journey. We may be living similar realities, but they're not the same. Right? And just because I get it in my reality, that doesn't mean you're going to get it in your reality. That doesn't, just because I get it right now, that doesn't mean that, you know, you have to get it right now.
Right.
You may got to transition. You may got to learn something now and then transition and come back so you can continue on your journey.
So in short words, basically you're more open-minded.
What I will say is that with me saying I'm not an extremist, right? I tell my community that whatever you eat, right? Whatever you put inside your body, you want to make sure that you give your body time to eliminate it. Because whatever your body don't eliminate, it then accumulates. So for an example, a steak takes up to 7 to 16 days to digest inside the intestines. Before it even starts digesting, it has to sit in the intestines because it has to rot it has to putrefy in order for your body to even break it down. And then when it breaks it down, because it's so tough and it's so foreign, it goes through different metabolic processes imbalances to where, once it breaks down, it just takes a long time to break down. You know what I mean? So I'm not an extremist, but I am an advocate for telling my community, whatever you put inside your body, just give it time. Just give your body the due diligence for it to break down and eliminate. Right. So for an example, right, I tell my community, hey, if you eat your crab legs, okay, do that, right? But for the next 4 to 6 days, be on fruit. You know what I'm saying? Start juicing. You know what I mean? However, I 100% push plant-based natural eating. But again, we all on our own journey. I'm not, who am I to judge and tell you what you should be doing?
Right, I like that you're very balanced.
Yeah,
very
100%.
Balanced. You're not you're not to the extremes, because I was even speaking to Lifewave. He was telling me about balance is key. Yeah. Like balance will keep you protected. If you even if you're too positive, you attract something that's too negative, because we're on a plane of duality, positive and negative. So you don't want to be too positive, because you're going to attract negative events. You don't want to be too negative, because you're going to live in a negative world. You want to stay in the middle, so you attract just balanced things. You attract, and I like that, man. You are you said some wise words. You said some wise stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, to answer your question, when it comes to the women, man, I wouldn't say I would necessarily deal with a woman that have a certain diet, you know what I'm saying, or that doesn't have a diet that's similar to mine. But I will say is that if I meet a beautiful woman, a beautiful goddess that's on her journey and that's willing to be on her journey, as long as she's open-minded, come here, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Come here.
Right.
I got you. But if you just close-minded and be like, oh no, I have to have this, I have to have that, that's an energy that doesn't resonate with me. Right. You know what I mean? So I'm bull.
Right. You're not on the type of time where a woman is fixed. She already made up her mind. She's brainwashed.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you're not just open-minded, willing to learn something new, willing to venture off into a new journey, you know what I mean? You don't know what it's gonna be like.
Right.
You know what I mean? But even to build off what you were saying as far as balance and duality, that's a very interesting subject. You know what I'm saying? And then duality is in this realm, right? You got the 9, you got the 3 and the 6, right? The 3 and the 6 is then manifested and projected, personified within the 1, 2, and the other numbers left over. That's duality. However, when you jump into the real power of the 3, 6, and the 9, you will understand that the God mind is the 9. It understands that nothing is separate. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about perception down in this reality. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens, you can then perceive it as good or bad, negative or positive. You know what I mean? However, the God mind also understands that it's neither. It just is.
What are some good herbs when it comes to healing yourself on a vocal level?
Your throat chakra? Yeah, so when it comes to your throat chakra, that's just pretty much like so what happens is, what's going on with your throat chakra? Are you speaking about as far as what?
As far as just in general.
Like thyroid, parathyroid?
Some people go through thyroid issues. Some people even the voice isn't strong enough. They don't have I heard it's literally the diet you eat, and of course, spiritual, everything goes back to spiritual, but it could also accumulate back to your diet from the way you speak.
Yeah. That's interesting that you brought that up, because somebody asked me that yesterday on the community gathering about opening up the throat chakra. So first and foremost, when it comes, of course, it can be spiritual, 100%, right? So what I would recommend when it comes to opening up the throat chakra or getting, that area, the energy back going in that, because obviously if something is going on with any area of the body, you have stagnant energy. You know what I'm saying? And that energy could then be creating some kind of disease via, the throat, thyroid, parathyroid, however the case may be.
Right.
So first and foremost, what I would recommend is, probably sitting down in meditation, doing some some ahs, the ease, because majority of the time, if we have any kind of throat chakra blockage, any energy blockage within the throat chakra, that means we're not speaking enough. That means we're not either speaking up enough. We're not hearing ourselves enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, I talk to myself all the time.
Right.
I have full conversation where I will ask myself a question and literally answer it right after I get done asking.
The reason I did bring this up, because it is something that, our community, as our people, our melanated, beautiful people, that's something that is kind of losing. It's our throats, our voices. People don't speak up. The number one key to a relationship is the voice. Communication.
100%.
So, I was even speaking to a woman yesterday, and she was telling me that communication is number one. She was telling me that, and I was agreeing, because it's a lot of people, they need to master it. They need to understand that it's okay to, even if you have to express something that you don't like, express it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, it's free will. Express that.
100%. And you know, express. You got to understand that the energy that we speak, and even at this moment, is energy. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel the need to speak up about anything and you don't, you have to understand what kind of blockage that you're creating, a blockage, the flow of energy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then that energy then, you know, manifests as disease. It's personified as now dis-ease.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you could man, shit, sing in a car.
Sing in the car.
You know what I'm saying? Sing in a car. If you see something you don't like, again, when it comes to communication, speak up.
Speak up.
You know what I'm saying? And then that also ties in with shadow work as well, because a lot of people don't understand that when you do not speak up for if somebody's doing wrong by you and you don't speak up, you got to understand that what is that creating for yourself? You know what I'm saying? You're neglecting yourself. You're not trusting yourself. You're not allowing yourself to lead. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, you're now abandoning yourself all at the same time.
That's some crazy stuff. That is some crazy stuff. Yep. Like, just the voice is the key.
Yeah.
You know, even like our voice has tones, but every person like I'll talk to who's, you know, more of an influencer, they'll always agree about shadow work. They always bring up shadow work, because I think the reason why a lot of us do bring up shadow work, including you, you know, all of us in the community, we bring up shadow work is because like people need it. You know? It's needed. You know, we ain't gonna stop talking about it because it's needed. It's that needed.
Yeah, man, shadow work is powerful. And you know, there was a point in time where, of course, I didn't know anything about shadow work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ask me, how do you start shadow work? And I always tell them, like, shit, how I started, I just went on YouTube. What's shadow work? And then I started looking at other individuals. They would give you different writing prompts. And as you start with these writing prompts, then you start asking your own questions. So one of my original questions for myself when I first started doing shadow work was, why do you feel some type of way when somebody tell you what to do? And once I wrote that down in my book, you know, of course, you sit there, you meditate on it, and then the answer comes. And one thing about shadow work is that you cannot lie to yourself.
Cannot lie.
You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, what's the point of shadow work?
Right.
So.
And shout out to all my TheBloodThatHeals watching. That's the blunt sign, the most blunt sign, honest sign. You know what I'm saying?
So, so yeah, when I asked myself that question and I meditated on it, I realized why I felt a way when somebody told me what to do. And it's the reason being is because I needed somebody to tell me what to do. As a child, I needed somebody to guide me. And I'm speaking more of a masculine sense, right? Because it's been me and my mom my whole life. But I needed that masculine reinforcement to tell me, hey, don't do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? And so growing up in in an environment, in the community that I was in, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn a lot on my own. So as I started transitioning and, you know, I started growing, it's like when somebody tell me what to do, it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is you to tell me what to do? You know, but the most powerful thing about shadow work is that once I came to that realization, I was now able to be receptive. If somebody told me what to do or told me a suggestion, I'm now able to be receptive without getting irritated or without having an attitude. However, I can use my discernment and be like, nah, that ain't gonna work for me. But at least I'm receptive in a healthy way and not just automatically, you know, giving off that warrior mentality or that warrior energy. You know, so yeah, shadow work is powerful, man. I would want to say this was a topic on my community gathering last night, was that you know, somebody asked me about how I feel about crystals. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely an advocate for crystals. However, I will say this, right? When I go into the sun, first and foremost, my entire body glow red. Right? Then when I pay close attention to my skin, I see all the colors. I see red, I see violet, I see green, right? Very closely when I go into the sun. And by realizing this, especially with the pineal gland situation that we spoke about with the cerebral spinal fluid, right? We're made of crystals. Right? And so I'm an advocate for using crystals. However, I'm not an advocate for utilizing crystals and just depending on them. Using them as a tool, 100%, you can utilize them. However, we have to also understand that there's nothing more powerful than us. We are the crystal. We are the most priceless, most valuable crystal there is walking on this planet.
Yeah, because I understand what you're trying to say, because if you focus entirely on other crystals, you're gonna lose yourself. You're gonna lose your power. You're gonna lose 100%. Your worth, and you're gonna forget that you are itself.
You have to understand that what you're doing with that crystal is you're actually manipulating the energy of that crystal for it to work for you. So you have to understand which one has the most power. Is it you or is it the crystal? It's you that have you're grabbing that crystal and you're setting your intention on that crystal. This crystal is for this, that, and the third, and this is what this crystal is going to do for me. You're giving the crystal power.
Okay, I see that. That's like you. The way you broke that down was better than anyone else. You never even brought that up, but you broke it down so deep and then elaborate. I was like, wow.
And so, and the next time you in the sun, go in the sun, and I want you to pay very close attention to your skin. I just want you to move your skin like this.
I'm gonna keep it above. My skin does get the little, little lights, little glittering, but the colors is something that I had never seen.
That's because you gotta get real close to your skin. Oh, you gotta get real close, and you gotta pay attention, and you gotta move your skin like this, just a little bit, and you're gonna see green, red, blue, violet. Ooh, I see this all the time. Orange. I see this all the time. I was just in Florida. I'm in the sun. I'm looking at it. I done seen it so many times. Wow. Your entire body is made of crystals. Wow. You are the crystal.
Wow.
So you got to understand, when you get that crystal, whatever intentions you putting in that crystal, you're giving that crystal power, so it can work for you. And then another thing is that, a lot of people, a lot of people actually reach out to me and ask me, what does this mean, or what does that mean, or whatever the case may be. We got to understand that, again, we're living similar realities. However, it is completely different. It is not the same. So if you see the number 111 right now, right? Yeah, we can go on Google and we can look up what Google say about what 111 means. However, whatever 111 mean to you in that exact moment when you seen 111, instead of looking it up, that's exactly what it meant.
I did read a book about that too.
That's exactly what it meant.
There's no specific meaning of a number. It's the way it's a download and intention you get.
Exactly.
And you feel.
If I'm in traffic and I'm driving and I'm thinking about moving to California, right? And I'll be like, man, I don't know if I should move to California. And I see 111. And as soon as I see 111, I feel like that's confirmation for me to move to California. That's that. You know what I'm saying? Everything in a sense is relative. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you perceive, that's your reality. So whatever you think that is, however that external means reacts to your nervous system versus and result how it makes you feel, that's the confirmation.
Wow. That is some deep stuff, bro. Wow. You was even telling me you was just in the beaches as well too. Yeah. And you was feeling it, you was talking to the water.
100%.
Yeah. Have you elaborate on some of that?
Yeah, for sure. So I was in the beach, man, 2 days straight. I was at the beach 2 days straight. And every time I was in the water for at least 2 hours. I was out in the water. I wasn't like I was making sure that I was floating.
You was out.
I was out in the water, making sure.
How was you feeling?
Amazing. I was cleansing. I set my intentions to cleanse because I understand that the most powerful cleanse that you could, the most powerful spiritual bath that you can take is the ocean. That's it. Now the herbs and the flowers and all of that, that's just extra. 100%. You could do that. However, but the most powerful spiritual is the ocean.
That's your mayor.
It's the ocean. So when I went out there, man, I set my intentions. I'm cleansing. I'm washing my hair. I'm washing my body 2 days straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there for 2 hours, and then I get on the sand. I'm in the sun for 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I get back and forth. I'm cleansing, man. Cleansing.
Hey, you have a cleansing energy too, bro.
I appreciate it.
Energy is everything. Energy is everything. And energy never lies. And we are energy. We're energy beings. But 100%. That will be the end of this interview, man. This podcast, man. I appreciate you so much. It was a great episode.
Man, I appreciate you, man.
Definitely
before we get out of here, I just want to first and foremost just give honor and thanks to the powers that be that have aligned both of us. I thank you and I appreciate you for reaching out to me, bro.
Yes,
because you didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for reaching out and you know what I'm saying, and presenting me to your community. You know what I mean? Because you got a powerful community. You feel me? So I just give honor and thanks to you, bro. I appreciate you.
Right, yes, sir. Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Someone has to do it, and we all are elevating on our journey, and we seeking like-minded people. Because being isolated and being closed off from wanting to work with people, we got to go the opposite. We got to want to work. And we can't let our people fall. We got to bring our people up. Yeah. And I appreciate you, man.
Gratitude.
Yes, sir.
Love, bro.
Love.
So,
all right.
that was powerful.